When murder trends too close to home, social media influencer Coco Klein will have to swipe through a sea of trolls to tag a killer. Coco Klein is set to have the best summer ever until Larry and Rosalind Dunmer move into the condo next door. Coco and her friends do their best to avoid the confrontational duo, but when a party at a new wine bar brings everyone together, things become less than neighborly faster than a celebrity-themed hashtag goes viral. Soon after the party, Larry washes ashore dead, and the suspect spotlight lands on Coco's best friend, Jasper. With Jasper's rep on the line, Coco and her squad assemble to catch a killer before they get canceled permanently. Return to Central Shores in #TagMeForMurder, a trending topic mystery by Sarah E. Burr. Murder goes viral this April. Stay connected at www.saraheburr.com. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Welcome to a very special live stream event. This is my book birthday party. My name is Sarah Burr. Thank you so much for being here today. I can't wait to just share all things fun, cozy murder with you. We're in for a really fun stream today, and I hope that you will join and participate with me as much as possible. It's always more fun with friends. So please make sure that you are logged into your YouTube or Google account so you can use the chat feature as well as be able to be entered into our special giveaway today. So with that being said, let's get this party started. For those of you who may not know whose party you're coming to, if you're brand new to me and my books, my name is Sarah E. Burr. I write the Trending Topic Mysteries. I also write the Glenmire Whim Mysteries, which are a paranormal cozy mystery series, and the Court of Mystery series, which are fantasy mystery books that take place in a medieval realm. So as you can see, I love writing about murder in all forms, and I like to have fun doing it. I got my start reading murder mysteries and mysteries at a very early age. I was totally into Nancy Drew, really even before I was able to read them coherently. My dad read them to me as a kid before I was able to move on and begin reading them myself. Nancy's always been my idol and icon, and later in the show, we're going to have some fun with some Nancy Drew activities as well, because she's just such an inspiration for me and my writing. And, you know, from my days of working in corporate America, I wasn't stumbling across any mysteries, so I decided to start writing some of my own. The Trending Topic Mysteries were actually the first ever cozy mysteries that I attempted to write. My book, Follow Me for Murder, which is book 1 in the Trending Topic Mysteries. This features social media influencer Coco Klein, who has sold her college startup, and she's moved back home to Central Shores, Delaware, which is a beautiful beachside town where nothing ever goes wrong until Coco Klein comes on the scene, and suddenly there are murders popping up everywhere. So Coco finds herself kind of on the police radar when her clients are accused of murdering their assistant at their store. She's launched her own business. She's now kind of a social media PR guru, and unfortunately, the Chens, her latest clients, find a dead body in the back of their store. And so Coco jumps on to avert this PR crisis and decides to play Nancy Drew in the process, and enlist the fun of her friends with the help solving the crime, and they just have a grand old time. So in Tag Me for Murder, which we are celebrating today, Tag Me for Murder takes place about 3 months after the events of Follow Me for Murder. It is part of a series, but you can read it standalone. Coco is ready to have the best summer of her life, and it's all set to be super fun until she gets these next door neighbors who move in. And let me tell you, in terms of next door neighbors, Larry and Rosalind Dunmer are about as awful as they can get. Larry just like continually comes after Coco and her friends. It's not great, and things really come to a head when at a party that's happening on the Central Shores Strip, Larry has very severe words with Jasper Hastings, who is Coco's bestie since second grade. Things get even worse when Larry shows up dead the next day, washes ashore on the beach. He has a corkscrew sticking out of his neck and puts Jasper right in the suspect spotlight because Jasper was the last one seen having this heated discussion with the victim. So, of course, Coco jumps in to help right away. Shenanigans ensue. I had so much fun writing this book. I hope that it shows when you're reading it, because I really it was such a joy to write. I love being in Central Shores. I love being with Coco and her friends. And I'm so excited that I get to celebrate with you today. Farmhouse reader, Mizan, thank you so much for joining me and sharing some of your time. It means a lot to hear from readers, to hear from authors. It's wonderful. And although I have had several books published at this point, there is no better feeling than your work being out in the world. So I'm really excited that we get to connect in this forum today because it's really special, and I'm glad that we get to take the time to connect. I am going to be doing a brief reading from Tag Me for Murder. You guys are going to be in for quite the treat because, as some of you may know, I have a very difficult time actually reading out loud. I stumble like crazy. I've been practicing all day, so fingers crossed that I'm able to nail this. But what I can't wait for is the audiobook version of Tag Me for Murder, which launches on May 30th. Laura Durrell is reading. She was the voice of Coco in Follow Me for Murder. She does an amazing job. It's so fun to hear Coco and her friends be brought to life. So she's going to do a much better job than I will. But I think that the scene that I've selected for you, it captures enough of the fun spark and sass that Coco exchanges between her friends. And so we'll be getting to that shortly. Once we are done with the reading, I have been collecting questions from readers over the past couple days that I'm going to be answering live on the stream. However, if you guys have questions for me here live with me now, feel free to drop them in the chat and I will most happily answer them. Or if you have a discussion topic that you want to bring up, please feel free. We're here to celebrate. It's a party. Conversation can be flowing. So once we are done with our reading and going through questions from readers, I have a fun little game that we can all participate in together. Hopefully, it should be a lot of. It should be very familiar to people who are online on a regular basis. But if it's brand new to you, all the better. You'll have discovered a fun treat that you can do every day. And then to wrap things up, I'm going to be bringing up some fun items related to my mystery icon, Nancy Drew, before we do our giveaway. And our giveaway for today is a signed book bundle. You'll have a signed copy of Follow Me for Murder. You'll have a signed copy of Tag Me for Murder. You're going to have special bookmarks that feature both the Follow Me for Murder, Tag Me for Murder, as well as some of my other books that I have written. And last but not least, a TJ Maxx gift card, which is Coco's favorite store to shop at outside of the Strip. Unfortunately, the amazing shops like Brew to Perfection, Quincy's Finds, Squeezed, Mystic Cards and Games. Unfortunately, they don't exist for me in real life. So I can't get gift cards to those locations, but TJ Maxx is mentioned quite a bit in Coco's adventures. So I figured that would be where she would want folks to hit up for some fun. So to get this party started, again, thank you for joining. Any questions, comments, please feel free to put them in the chat. We're also having a special guest appearance later on in this broadcast. It's going to be interesting because wrangling live animals on live TV is always a challenge. So we will see how my beloved Evie, who is a Australian Shepherd mix, for lack of a better word. She'll be joining us a little bit later. She is all dressed to the nines for celebrating Tag Me for Murder. So, without further ado, I am going to do a brief reading of Tag Me for Murder to set the scene for you guys a little bit. This is from chapter 5, so it's not very far into the book. We've had the discovery of Larry, who has washed ashore dead. And Coco, unfortunately, was there at the scene because the police invited her to participate. Why they invite her to participate, you'll have to find out. However, because of the circumstances around Larry's death and the fact that Jasper had very heated words with Larry at a public event the previous night, Coco's a bit concerned, and she has rushed over to Jasper's house, and this is the scene that follows. Well, I guess you do have a point. This isn't good. Jasper rubbed the light stubble scattered over his chin. Everyone at Vine did see me have words with Larry. I snorted. Well, who hasn't had words with that man? Touché, Jasper conceded, but I can't deny that last night's debacle doesn't paint a pretty picture for me. The douche nozzle threatened to ruin my career. My tongue felt like sandpaper. I'd hoped talking everything out with Jasper would help me realize that I was completely overreacting. But he was right. Jasper certainly had the motive to want Larry dead. Hey, Larry threatened to sabotage trending topic, too. Yeah, but your corkscrew wasn't found shoved into his neck, now was it? I winced at the blunt imagery. I'm sure once Hudson, Charlotte, and I tell the police you didn't even take your party favor with you, that will be the end of it. Oh, the irony. I'd used my boyfriend's unwelcome logical explanation to smooth over the situation. But when the deets about Larry's death get leaked, you might want to prepare for a boatload of press that could affect divulge. Jasper waved a hand aside. Please, what's the golden rule? We said it together. No publicity is bad publicity. Our in-sync delivery elicited only a half-hearted laugh from Jasper. His blasé attitude about the whole situation had suddenly evaporated. I leaned forward in my seat. What's wrong? Well, if clearing my name relies solely on you guys saying I left without my corkscrew, we might have a problem. Jasper scratched his head. You see, I hit up Vine on my way home from Dover to see if you all were still there. My heart somersaulted. Why didn't you just text? I stupidly decided to install that new huge software update on my cell during the car ride back. It was on that infuriating load screen for hours. He shuddered. Jasper was never without his iPhone. He clutched it in his palm as he spoke. Being without it for even a few minutes drove him up a wall. Since I couldn't message you, I opted to stop by Vine. I didn't like where this was going. We left around 10. Charlotte and I had to be up early for work. Jasper nodded. I ran into Andre and he told me you guys left to get your beauty sleep. He then reminded me to pick up my corkscrew because I mentioned I hadn't got a chance to grab it. Since there was no point in hanging around the party without you, I swung by the souvenir table on my way out. An annoyed frown grew on Jasper's face. I couldn't find one with my name on it. I checked every corkscrew left. Mine wasn't there. He sighed, but I didn't bother telling Andre. He was too busy schmoozing some folks who reeked of Crestview privilege. So I just decided to pretend to take a corkscrew and split. The implications of Jasper's polite actions rained down on me. Oh no. His statement made anything Hudson, Charlotte, and I could tell the police irrelevant. Any investigator with half a brain could poke holes in Jasper's story. Of course he wouldn't admit to picking up the party favor if he'd used it to kill his onerous neighbor, especially after said neighbor had threatened his media empire. It was my turn to rub my eyes, not with weariness, but with building tension. Maybe someone else can confirm you actually didn't take a souvenir. Jasper sighed as he rose from his chair and shuffled to the open-concept kitchen. I doubt it. By the time I returned to the party, everyone was thoroughly sloshed on grapes. I joined him at the counter as he toasted 2 slices of bread. I waited until he was done slathering apricot jam on his breakfast before continuing with my questions. So, you bailed on us to drive up to Dover last night? I told you, I had a meeting, Jasper mumbled through a crunchy mouthful. I stared at him for a beat. You've mentioned that much. Who was it with? He wrinkled his nose. Why does it matter? I drum my fingers anxiously on the countertop. Well, for one, they might be your alibi. Jasper shook his head. I'm sure once I talk to the police, everything will be fine. You're getting way ahead of yourself, Coco. He eyed me curiously. It's like you want me to be a suspect or something. What? Are you insane? He rolled his eyes. No, but that squeaky little denial voice makes me think you might actually be. He hissed as he wiggled his finger in front of my nose. You're a murder mystery addict looking for a fix. It's like you want a reason to stick your nose into Larry's death, like you did with Stacy's murder. I puffed out my chest defensively. I only got caught up in Stacy's murder because the chief tried to pin the crime on my clients. Jasper's groomed eyebrows shot up, but he wisely held his tongue. This is totally different, I pressed onward. I was there at the beach. I saw Gavin's reaction to the corkscrew. My seafoam gaze pinned Jasper in his place. The police are going to follow the evidence. What if all the evidence conveniently points to you? My best friend's confidence deflated right before me as confusion settled across his features. You think someone is trying to frame me? End scene. So, from there, the mystery really takes off. This one was super fun to write. The mystery itself is actually something that I've had in my mind when I was writing book one. I kind of knew up front, and this is a little inside look behind the scenes, but I knew up front who I wanted my killer to be. And so I had to come up with a reason why this person would kill someone. And hence, that's how Larry Dunmer kind of emerges onto the scene. I think this is the first time where my killer has been known to me before my victim has been known to me. And so it was a really fun writing experience, kind of working backwards to craft everything together. And then, of course, to throw in all of these fun parties and outings and adventures with Coco and her friends. There are some good ones. Coco's mom even becomes a sleuthing sidekick for a little bit. They have a fun little romp to dig up some clues, and they have a fabulous time. It's all very lighthearted murder mystery, perfect for a day at the beach. As you can kind of see for the cover, with Coco relaxing out, overlooking the ocean of Central Shores. So I hope that you enjoyed my reading and that I didn't stumble too poorly over it. As I get ready to answer some of the questions that I've received from readers, I am going to ask my little guest to join me. So if you guys just bear with me for a brief moment, I'm going to go collect her. I will be back in just a moment. And here she is, the one that you probably all came to see. This is Evie, and she is just the light of my life. You can see she actually got groomed today, and our groomer gave her this scarf to wear. And I was like, this scarf perfectly matches the cover of Tag Me for Murder, which is really funny. So Evie is all decked out, ready to party, even though she doesn't look right now, but she just had her dinner, so she's a little sleepy from all of her food. So for some questions, today Evie is going to help me navigate through these items. And John, thank you so much for chiming in. I agree. I think that the reasoning behind, what could compel somebody to do such a devious, awful act is often, very interesting, especially in a cozy mystery, because you kind of have to balance that line between lightheartedness and dealing with the fact that we have a murder on our hands. So I appreciate your comment. And DHB and Farmhouse Reader are saying hello to Evie. Wonderful. So our questions from readers, and again, if you guys have any questions for me as I'm going through this, This question is from reader Paula T. Cozies are normally about bakers, librarians, and shop owners. Why did you decide to write about an influencer, and how did you make her so cozy? And that is a question that I have to kind of struggle with a lot when I'm writing my books, because a influencer isn't somebody that you would typically think could be really a cozy person, because they're surrounded so much by technology, which often doesn't make an appearance in a cozy mystery. I have to be really, really creative with how I'm using social media, because I don't want it to be too overwhelming, but I also want it to be informative for my readers, and also that they can learn a little bit about privacy rules online, how to protect yourself and kind of keep your privacy, as well as just be aware of what information people can get about you. For Coco, a lot of her social media really helps her get the foundation of who a suspect or who a victim is. In the case of Larry Dunmer, Larry isn't on social media a whole lot. So that becomes harder for Coco to kind of navigate and figure out, how do I piece together who this person is when they don't really have an online footprint. So she has to then go question people in person and really have those interactions that we normally associate with cozy mysteries. So and the reason why I decided to write about an influencer is because as a millennial, I absolutely love social media, even though I don't love it as much as I used to, because it's gotten hard to manage. There's a lot of negativity online, but what I love about Coco is that she tries to bring the positive, and that's kind of what I wanted her to be, a bright light in the internet. And so that's who she is. Let's see. We have thank you so much, Mizan, for saying that you enjoyed the excerpt. Thank you. Yes, I do think it's a really great book for the summer, and especially since it does take place at the 4th of July. There's a lot of 4th of July events that are going on, and that kind of makes it fun. I always love coming up with cozy mystery festivals, events, parties, and whatnot, and Coco is no exception. She loves a good party. Reader Maggie C. has said, I love Central Shores. Thank you, Maggie. It sounds like the perfect place to visit. How did the Delaware coast become your setting? And for anybody who has read my bio, I currently live in New York. I grew up in Maine. I lived in Florida when I was very, very young. I've never lived in Delaware before, so it might be odd that I chose to write a book that takes place in Delaware. But to be honest, and this is going to show kind of the strategic side of writing, as I was reading cozy mysteries and just absolutely falling in love with the genre, I noticed that there weren't a lot that took place in Delaware. And so I just wanted to give Delaware the spotlight. And after I discovered the Rehoboth Beach area, that was really much a lot of the inspiration for Central Shores, even though it's located somewhere ambiguously away from where Central Shores actually is in the books. So that's really kind of by chance that there weren't a lot of cozies about Delaware, that Delaware became the place that I wanted to spotlight in the trending topic mysteries. Kelly W., she asked, do you have a favorite character? It's hard because I love writing them all so much, but I do have characters that I enjoy writing more than others. And that would be Jasper. And it might show because I picked an excerpt that showcased Jasper. I just absolutely love his snark. I love his sassiness. I just love how, even though he can kind of make situations difficult with his attitude, that he's really there for Coco. And there are some scenes that in this book that were especially fun to write. And I think the reader really gets to see a different side of Jasper, maybe his vulnerabilities a little bit more. I think everybody gets to really focus on being more vulnerable with the reader. In Follow Me for Murder, everyone's like, we're living our best lives, we're having such a fun time, but the reality of the world is that we're not always happy. we're not always in a good headspace, and both Coco and Jasper kind of have to deal with those inner demons in Tag Me for Murder. Ooh, we have someone in the chat asking a question. This is from Director of Operations. That sounds very formal. Where does the setting come from scratch, or is there a town somewhere that was the inspiration? So the beach was really the only place that from the Rehoboth Beach area that I used when creating Central Shores. I will say that the Strip, which is the kind of the central area of Central Shores, it's this boardwalk that's right across from the ocean, right across from the beach. That's where all of the fun shops are that Coco gets to visit with her friends. That was sort of based on a place in Maine called Old Orchard Beach. Old Orchard Beach is maybe a little bit more commercialized than Central Shores is, but that's that feel of beach town with cute shops and great restaurants lined up against the water. That's really kind of how that particular setting came into be. And Grace, thank you very much for joining me today. It is necessary to find new businesses for amateur sleuths so that everybody isn't writing the same thing. That's such a great point. Agreed. And I think that when I was toying with the idea of writing about a person that used technology, I was trying to figure out, okay, like what would be a fun career for them to have that, they can really rely on technology in their sleuthing. Because as somebody who has worked in IT, working in IT isn't exactly glamorous, and I don't know if it's really something that cozy mystery that you can really make cozy unless you own an IT shop in a very small town. And because I lived that life, I did not want to write about it. So I wanted to write something that was fun and a bit wild. Influencers their lifestyles just like blow my mind. So it was really fun to kind of explore that and live vicariously through Coco. So I agree, Grace. That's a great point. We have reader Monique J. She is asking, do you come up with the mystery first, or are the characters the stories that are the driving force? That's a really good question. I would say for writing book one that the character is the driving force for the story for me. And then every subsequent book, it's the murder mystery. And often like, that's, I think, why writing mysteries is as, I don't want to say easy because it's not easy, but I can do it. I'm able to write a book because I have the story already crafted in a nutshell. When you're writing a mystery, if you know the killer, you know the victim, you know the who, what, when, where, why, that's your story, and you just have to build everything else around it. I've tried writing fantasy, I've tried writing suspense, I've tried writing all these other genres, and because I didn't have that like nuclear story to tell right up front, it's always been a struggle for me. So I would say that the characters really lead the first book, and really that's because they're introducing themselves to me and I'm getting to know them better. And then in subsequent books in the series, that mystery really is the one that takes shape. And reader Deep DA is asking, will Coco ever have a pet? And Evie, you might find offense to this. Coco isn't at the spot in her life right now, I don't think, to have a pet. I know that's one of the cardinal rules within the cozy mystery genre. It's like your book is always better with a pet. And I agree. My other series, the Glenmire Whim Mysteries, my main character, Hazel Wickberry, she definitely needed a pet in her life. And so those books kind of chronicle her journey into pet ownership. I know Coco wants to have a pet, but with her business taking off, with Hudson, her long-term boyfriend and partner, with his work that he's doing at the local news station, which there's Hudson really kind of gets the spotlight a lot in this book, which I had a really fun time writing and am really glad that I was able to share more of him with readers. Because in Follow Me for Murder, he's there to support Coco, but he doesn't really ever get to shine and show his talents as much as I would have liked, or otherwise the book would have been, 800 pages long. So Hudson really gets to show just how great of a partner he is to Coco in Tag Me for Murder. But his work schedule between the two of them, it's like they would love to have a pet, but just don't have the time to dedicate to one at this point. We'll see where things go in the series, because I could definitely see Coco just like transitioning away from her being the center of her social media posts and having her posts be all about either a dog or a cat, because those pictures are just so much more fun to look at. I have a question from Angie G. And Angie is asking, is Hudson ever going to propose to Coco? Oh, that's a question that I've had so many people ask me. After book 1 came out, I was just like floored by everyone, how invested everybody was in Coco and Hudson's relationship. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I was, and so I think that's another reason why Hudson gets to be kind of more front and center in this particular book, to show the strength of their partnership, even though they're not engaged or married. Coco is a millennial. Her views on, marriage are, she would love to be married, but it's also like not something that is like defines the strength of her relationship. But I'm pretty sure that readers can be certain that Coco will get her happily ever after. So when that will happen, we will have to see. And I don't want to give any more away than that. So those are the questions that that folks had sent me ahead of time. If you guys have any additional ones for me in the chat, feel free to pop in. I'm going to put Miss Evie down on the ground. She's been a really good sport, even though she hasn't looked too happy about it. But I'm going to put her down on the ground so that we can play a little game together. And this game, for those of you who may or may not be familiar with, we are going to be playing Wordle. And I have found a website for those of you who really like to play Wordle. This is a website that it just like is a continual regeneration of words. So like it's not like you're limited to the one a day that the New York Times now has us limited to. So this one is called Wordle Game. I think it's wordlegame.org is the website. So if you're really into Wordle, you can just play all day long. But I thought I would play around with you guys with your help, of course. I'm going to put in the first word for the day to keep us sort of on theme, on topic. Ooh, I could use topic too. I'm actually going to use the word, though, as trend. We're going to see how well trend lines up with what this particular Wordle ends up being. Okay, not too bad. So for those of you who may not have played Wordle before, what this means is that the word or the letters R and D are in the final word. However, they are not in the correct place. That's why they're yellow. So we've got a D, we've got an R, but the T, E, and N are not in this word at all. So we're now back to the drawing board, and this is where you can begin to see how my mind works on how I come up with words on Wordle. So if anybody has suggestions as to what I should put in next, please feel free. I'm thinking, so we've got S is a popular word. Since T isn't there, let's see. And R is not the second, so D could be the first. So we could do D. Actually, probably wouldn't without an E or an N. You could do donor, but you can't use the N on that one. D. Ooh, I want to do an R at the end, I think. Or a D here. Let's see. I want to get an A in because A is a very popular letter. Uh, let's see. Ooh, radar. That is a great one. Let's try it. If I can, I can't even spell it right. There we go. Radar. If this is it, that would be amazing. Oh my gosh. I thought that was almost it. I was like, but we're in a great spot. So RAD are our first three letters. RAD. And then we don't have an E, N, or T. Rad. Radio. Right? That's like the only thing it could be. That was pretty good. Three in a row. Not too bad. Does the word have to do something with your book? No, it doesn't. This is like words from like every 5-letter word that you could possibly think of. I usually start with good recommendation on radar, Mizan. Like great one. Like that's what we needed. My go-to for Wordle, I always either start with the word great. I used trend because the trending topic mysteries. Because great has EAT, which are, the Wheel of Fortune letters. Again, this one, am I going to get, it shouldn't be radio again. And then you just kind of go from there. Let's see. So R again is our word, or is a letter that is a part of this. I'm going to do, the G is out. I was going to do rough, but that doesn't work. Let's see. And it's not, I'm always thinking of like B, like R being like the BR, TR, all of those good ones, but that isn't going to work here. Let's see. Oops. Ooh, how about, here we go. Oh no, Norse has an E in it. Ugh. Coming up with the second word is always the hardest for me. Let's see. Roly. Let's see. I also like realize how many words that I think are words but aren't. It's like, is that how you spell them? Let's see here. There's no T, so I can't do anything with a T. I want to get the S in there. I can't do court. Not comet. Oof. Why is this so hard? Oh, gosh. Mizan coming in clutch with a recommendation. Thank you. Ooh, okay. Now we're working. So we've got the O, and the R is not either our second or last letter. So I'm thinking that, is it R-O? No, that's not even a word. W-R... Worse. Nope. Ooh, how about worry? Oh my my gosh, so close. I'm hoping that this is sorry. Could it be any other? All right. We did it. My brain is spent for the day on those ones. So interesting words. We had radio and sorry. So you can see like they're just like totally random all over the place. And so good job, everybody. We came together, Misa, great recommendations with those second words. Those were tough. So I can't believe 40 minutes have already gone by. I wasn't planning to consume this much of your time. So before we get started with the giveaway bundle, which for our giveaway bundle, for those of you who may be familiar with my show, The Bookish Hour and A Bookish Moment that I host with my pal, JC Kenny, who is also celebrating a book birthday today. So his book, Concert Hall Hit, is also out. It's the second book in his Darcy Gone mysteries. It's super fabulous. It combines like that small town charm with like the awesome like glitz and glam of the music industry. I definitely recommend it. Make sure you check it out. JC and I will actually be having a special release party for both of our books on an upcoming episode of The Bookish Hour. I believe it's May 11th. And so hopefully you guys can join us for that because we will be having more fun. So for our giveaway today, what I would love for you to do, if you would like to be entered for a chance to win a signed copy of #FollowMeForMurder, Tag Me for Murder, and a TJ Maxx gift card, please go ahead and enter the word corkscrew into the Google chat. I will be running a random wizard in the background that will tell me who my winner is of our prize today. And while you guys are entering into the giveaway, I'm going to be sharing some advice from Nancy Drew's Guide to Life. This is a tiny little book that I keep on my desk every day when I'm writing. Nancy Drew has always been my inspiration. I've had this book. I'm pretty sure I got it back before, probably when I was in high school. So, I mean, it's quite old. The binding on it is quite rough. Some of the pages it's like you can see where I have looked things up because like the binding is broken on this. So this has seen some time, but it's always been a constant. And I thought that I would share some of Nancy Drew's Guide to Life with you while folks enter into the giveaway. So this first item that I have for you, it's in the section that is labeled survival tips, survival strategies. And how the book is broken down is it gives you your tip as well as the reference from the book. And this is a tip from The Whispering Statue. And it's a loophole in moral code. It's okay to steal a car if it belongs to your kidnappers. So that's something to keep in mind. I hope I never have to use that. Good grief. This is from the Dating a Primer section. This one might be one of my favorites. It's make your date work for you. Send him on B-level errands you can't seem to fit into your busy schedule. And this is from The Clue in the Diary. When I think about all the stuff that poor Ned had to do for Nancy over the years, this one always like makes me chuckle. Another dating tip is if a guy's hunch results in a dead end, don't flaunt your better judgment and intuition in front of him. Smirk secretly to yourself. And that's probably great advice for anyone, regardless. You don't have to, regardless of your relationship, that's a pretty good way to do it. It's never a good look to rub salt in somebody's wounds. So, of course, Nancy coming in with a win. This is from the section, The Delicate Art of Etiquette. And this one is from The Secret of the Old Clock, which is how my love of Nancy Drew began. Don't let your troubles get in the way of enjoying a leisurely and delightful lunch. I will say that no matter how hard I am struggling to write during the day, I am able to put my worries aside while I enjoy a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Also, from The Secret of Redgate Farm, Even with an active lifestyle, being prompt is important. And I don't think anyone would agree with that more than Coco Klein. Coco is a little bit, she likes to be on time. And if she's on time for something, she's late. And her friends tease her for it. But it's something that's come in handy quite a couple times during her sleuthing adventures. So that's a tip from Nancy directly into Coco's personality. This one is Wilderness Tips. And it's from The Mystery of Lilac Inn. If you see something resembling a shark in the river, don't fret. It's more likely to be a small submarine operated by thieves. So if you're ever out and about and you in a river and you see something that looks like a shark, it's probably either a submarine operated by thieves or something from the government. So keep that. That's a very good tip to keep in mind. And then we have the last one for you today before we do our giveaway prize winner. This is from the section on being a lady. But this is common sense for everybody. When the lights suddenly go out, hold on to your diamonds for dear life. And that's from also The Mystery of Lilac Inn. Couldn't agree more. That is something, some wise words of wisdom from our favorite girl detective, Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew's Guide to Life is such a fun little tool to have. Always gives me inspiration. I also, for you Nancy fans out there, reference the official Nancy Drew handbook, which also talks about skills, tips, and life lessons from everyone's favorite girl detective. And this one you can see is very worn from reference. It's a bit more robust than my little guide, so I won't go into too much detail, but these are fun. They're very helpful. All right, for our winner today, for today's giveaway, again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It means a lot that you took time out of your afternoon to celebrate the release of Tag Me for Murder today. The book is available wherever books are sold. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes & Noble, Kobo, bookshop.org, Apple Books. It's going to be on audiobook and Audible on May 30th, so be on the lookout for that. And without further ado, our winner for our giveaway is Mizan. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Mizan, for entering into the giveaway, as well as for folks also who entered in. Mizan, if you could, I have your information already from your win on the Bookish Hour recently, so I will reach out to you regarding the details of your win today. So congratulations. And again, everybody, thank you so much for being here today and celebrating with me. I'm glad that you're happy, Mizan. That's great. I am thrilled that I get to share Coco's story with you all. And again, I truly appreciate everything all the messages, kind words that you've sent. And I really hope that you enjoy your time in Central Shores, because I had a blast there. And I'm having way too much fun writing book 3 right now. It's outrageous. I find parts where I'm writing and I'm like, oh man, like, is this too much? But with Coco and her friends, I think going over the top is expected. So we're having a grand time, and I can't wait to share more about it. So again, Farmhouse Reader, thank you so much for ordering. That's awesome. I'm glad that you were able to find your copies. And again, thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. It was so much fun. Thank you for helping me struggle through Wordle. And I hope you learned some fun Nancy Drew life tips. And again, I really appreciate you being here. And to sign off, I will share the Tag Me for Murder trailer one more time, and wish you all a very wonderful evening and happy reading. Thanks, everybody. When murder trends too close to home, social media influencer Coco Klein will have to swipe through a sea of trolls to tag a killer. Coco Klein is set to have the best summer ever until Larry and Rosalind Dunmer move into the condo next door. Coco and her friends do their best to avoid the confrontational duo, but when a party at a new wine bar brings everyone together, things become less than neighborly faster than a celebrity-themed hashtag goes viral. Soon after the party, Larry washes ashore dead, and the suspect spotlight lands on Coco's best friend, Jasper. With Jasper's rep on the line, Coco and her squad assemble to catch a killer before they get canceled permanently. Return to Central Shores in hashtag Tag Me for Murder, a trending topic mystery by Sarah E. Burr. Murder goes viral this April. Stay connected at www.saraheburr.com.